Hi, everybody. Here we are, taking a look at what's coming out a little while from now, but it's going to be well worth the wait. This is the Diamond Select Wolverine, and it is from the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, and it looks fantastic. I'm not exactly sure the specific release date. It's going to be, it says August, September, October. That means they're really not sure, which is totally fine. It's just that everyone's going to want to pre-order it, and I would suggest to pre-order it now at diamondselect.com, I believe it's at. If we take a look at it, it's exactly what people have been looking for. This is why I think Marvel Legends did not release um, a version of the Legends figure of Wolverine for the Deadpool and Wolverine movie without any sleeves, because Diamond Select was going to do it, and they're going to do it really well. You can see his arms are exposed with no shoulder shields. And Diamond Select does amazing articulation, so I'm not worried about that. I don't have the figure in hand. It's a year away, unfortunately. However, I would get on it right now. If you want to take a look at the detail, I guess you could pause the video, do a screenshot. And these are easy to see online. I just wanted to talk about it a bit. I kind of feel like his arms are a bit thick in comparison to Hugh Jackman's anatomy, and so are his thighs. I think his thighs are a bit too thick, but there's not much you can do about that. I'm not sure why they did that, to maybe keep like a close in between line between the comic book version and the movie version. However, this is based upon the movie version completely, so I'm not really sure why they made his legs and arms so beefy. His torso seems to be exactly on point with Hugh Jackman's anatomy. So I think we're okay with that. The anatomy too on the muscles, if you took out the bicep and the tricep, the anatomy looks a little bit squished and flattened. And I'm not really sure why they didn't go all the way through and make it a realistic bicep. Again, these are all preliminary photos. I'm sure the figure is not completely finished yet, but I think they did one to show photography, because by the time there's his back, take a look at that tush with the mush. It looks great. The detail looks great. It is weathered. The suit is weathered, so it looks like he's been through a little bit. There's no tears or tatters, and there's no blood stains. I'm wondering if they're going to wind up doing that to make it look more realistic. The pins on the shoulders, I'm hoping they remove, because it really does take you out of the whole experience. If you look at the pins, if you look at the triceps from the back again, if we go back down to the arms, they don't look very realistic, and unfortunately for this type of character, they're very realistic. And if you're going to show the arms without the yellow sleeves, and here they are with the yellow sleeves, it looks fine. This close up, and again, we don't see any pins. No, there are pins actually on the shoulders, but the arms look way better with the sleeves on. That makes sense. Maybe they just painted over. Again, this is still in the preliminary stages, and I guess they want to take orders and not overproduce. But the arms look way better when they're inside the suit, because technically with human anatomy, this is what happens. Clothing constricts. Even someone who's in great shape, like Hugh Jackman, who's this Wolverine, the face paint looks fantastic. I hope it's that good on the final. I mean, they did an extraordinary job of the stubble and Hugh Jackman's anatomy, because Hugh Jackman is an older guy. He's in his 50s, and he has a little bit of that skin jowl on the left and right of his jaw, of his mouth. Yep, and the front too looks fantastic in the close-up. His anatomy is perfect, and again, those pins are distracting. I'm so not sure why they would do pins, because if you look at a lot of Diamond Select stuff, they don't have pins. So I think this is just for preliminary reasons. I'll stop being redundant and saying the term preliminary. But those bare arms, are a little bit frustrating, and I hate being that type of a nitpicky person, collector, excuse me, because if you look at the detail on this, they really went all out. I mean, you can see the surface of the suit has creases and indents. There's shadows, little crevices, where the suit would actually move almost like a shell, like a body armor would on like a Navy SEAL or some kind of secret operative professional, and it looks fantastic. See the weathering on the on the his gauntlets and his gloves. They look fantastic. That's what we need more of with this figure, because the fantastic part about the film is that on all the close-ups, even not the close-ups, you can see all the steel showing on like the cowl and stuff like that in the movie. And I really hope these claws are harder plastic than some of the other Wolverine figures. Diamond Select doesn't joke around again. They have a reputation to uphold, but the detail, it looks like he has like a thigh swivel, which is great. But even the arms, there's pins in the arms. Look at the upper arms. They're going to have to do something about that, because it takes you out of the fantasy of this character in your imagination. I mean, the thrill of it is pretty much, again, more pins. Yep, above the knee. The knee pads, the boots look real. They look great, but again, his legs are a bit thick. Let that slide, but more pins at the bottom. I'm really not sure why they did pins. But it is what it is. The detailing, the paint is perfect. Again, this is probably one of the figures that they did for photography reasons alone. But they look incredible. I mean, maybe we can let the pins go. The price point is not bad. The price that I saw on the website for pre-order was $29.99, and that's amazing, because they could have charged a lot more. Here's an image of the figure with no background, so you can really see the silhouette, and the silhouette is really working, even though those arms and legs are a bit thicker than Hugh Jackman. Even with the suit on, Hugh Jackman is not like an extra large type of guy, even with all the muscle. But because if you look at his head looks a little bit larger, and I'm wondering if they're going to mess with that in the final, because the head should be a little bit smaller, although this is realistic proportions as far as human anatomy is concerned. And again, who's complaining? The nitpicking comes because we love it so much. I love it so much that you're really just looking at it and trying to say, okay, it's perfect. And as people, we tend to like look for the flaws in life, which really shouldn't be the case, because this figure is fantastic. I mean, if you want to do even figure photography for fun and put it up on a website or your Facebook or anything, just for fun, to show people, show friends, it looks outstanding. I'm hoping we get a head swap with this figure. There's no details as far as that's concerned, and hand swap too. Maybe hands without the claws would be really nice, but that's about it. I wouldn't ask for anything more, unless they want to give us a head with a grimace and no head swap with Hugh Jackman's face. That would be the only thing I think would be a wonderful accessory, because they give you a head swap with the Marvel Legends. If you take a look at that, it looks really wonderful. It's nice to have the option, but I think they should also weather the suit a little bit more if this is going to be Wolverine, unless you want to weather it yourself. I see some people customize them, and they look fantastic. This is what the proportions of Hugh Jackman are, the actual figure, if you want to take a look. Hugh Jackman actually has a much smaller head, and he has a more narrow athletic physique than the figure itself, which is fine. But if they want to make it movie accurate, because there is no suit in the comics exactly like this one, they designed it specifically for the film, and it looks really, really close. It might even be too yellow, unless that's the lighting from the film, from the still from the movie. And they could completely make the head a little bit smaller, although they have a year to work on it. So I would jump on it. I hope you enjoyed it. Even in this pose, Hugh Jackman and his proportions are a little bit more superheroic, but they're still athletic and not bulky, not thick. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you loved the movie as much as I did. Look for more reviews in the future, and I'll be seeing you on the next review. Okay, I said review about 800 times. Take it easy. Signing off. Yeah, you know what? Even if I look at it now, they really do need to maybe give you a more weathered look, because the best part about Wolverine in the movie, it was that he's incredibly beaten up throughout the whole film. He's never clean except from the beginning of the film, and at the end of the film, he gets all dirty and messed up. Okay, bye everyone. Thanks.